Listen as I reveal the action that it took to set and have 103 listing consults in Q1. Okay, everybody, I want to share with you what I did in Q1 from January 2nd through yesterday. So here is the information. I went in the CRM. It doesn't include anything that happened on cell phone, of course, direct numbers to me or numbers, people calling into the office. So I did 1,549 dials. I had 560 connections. Calls for 1 minute or more was 560 with 307 people. 2-minute combos were 387 people. 87 with 228 people. So it means 228 people. I had 2 minutes or more conversations. My total talk time was 67 hours. I sent 1,561 texts to 548 people. And these were the sources of where the business came from, in no particular order. Crexi, Landvoice, marketing mailers, Sign, networking, Facebook, Google, Fellow, past client, Zillow, TV, referral from another agent, walk-in, and agent SOI. 30% approximately were new people calling into the office who wanted to talk about getting their property sold. The rest of them, 70%, came from people in the database that I followed up with that have been in there and have been getting my marketing. I send out 2 videos a week, sometimes more than 2, sometimes 3 or 4, depending, because I also send out the Be the Solution, and I also do, which is the podcast, and I also do a live every day. So of that gave me, I set a little more than 103, but 103 actually happened. And then I'm going to break down. So I'm going to get really granular. I'm going to break down moving forward every single thing, volume, the units. I could tell you that I'm going to share with you next week how many converted to actual sales already and closed, how many are pending to close, how many I got buyer sides from, how many we did not take the listing, how many are in the pipeline that are coming soon that are already signed contracts, and how many are in the pipeline that are business that is coming down the line, like in May, June, July, August, based on when the tenant's leaving or when the seller is ready to put the property on the market. So obviously, I didn't list 103 in Q1, but I did have a lot of listings. Now, that information I'm going to be pulling together, and moving forward, I'm going to be sharing with you weekly my results, where it came from, exactly the number of contacts it took to get to that. And it's interesting because every source is a different amount of contacts that it takes. So some sources take more contacts, like if maybe it came from Landvoice, that takes a lot more than if it's coming from a past client, obviously, or Google. Obviously, those people are ready now. They're looking for realtor near me. And because of our reviews and all the videos I do, we come up in search. So this is the action that I took. I can't believe it was 67 hours on the phone, which I don't know. It sounds like a lot, but is it really a lot? And that is over 12 weeks. So that's about 6 hours a week of talk time. Now, this does not include, obviously, in-person appointments. So how do you do that many appointments in that amount of time? One thing I do is when I do the comms, I usually do them in the evening or in the morning before I start, even before I start looking at emails. I do them on the off time. I don't generally do them unless I'm jammed up and I need to do an appointment that day for an appointment I set that day. Then I do them on the fly that day. So when we schedule an appointment, we have a whole process in our office that one of my assistants will pull all of the documents that I need to review. Public records. I review so many documents. It takes her about 45 minutes to pull everything together that I look at. So I do try to do my listing consults as soon as humanly possible. If somebody calls me from a marketing piece that they got, then I do my best to do the consult the same day or within less than 24 hours. And when I do the consult, before I do it, what happens is they get an email from me with all the information about myself, our company, our team. They also get a video. They get additional and informational booklet on our press and all things that we do in the media. And so what I'm doing is we did get one extra day, Peter and I. Yes, we did. That was probably what boosted me to 103. But what I do is I make sure that appointment is sticky so that when I call them back or I meet them in person, they already know something about me and my company. Besides the research they already did, I gave them more information because my goal is to make that appointment as sticky as possible. So there's a whole process that goes around this, and that doesn't even come into effect like all the other things I do in preparation. So yes, it is a lot of work, but that is what I am here to do. Bring value, be in contribution, show you that it's possible, show you that you can do this as well. From a seller's perspective, I mean, it really comes into so many details go into this. I's dotted, T's crossed, and the devil's in the detail in this industry and most sales, but especially in real estate because there's so many moving parts that go into all of this. And it's all the experience over the last 20 years. So tomorrow, I'm going to talk about this tomorrow. Tomorrow, March 31st, 2004 was my first closing ever. It was a buyer side sale in Bella Vista in Philadelphia County. And I sold my friend a house. And the second sale, I'll talk about also tomorrow more in detail. I'm going to talk about, which is on 5th and Pine. It's a 4-unit building. It was a quadplex in 2004 for $1,025,000. That was sale 2. And I was still working in radio sales at that time. I'd been in radio for 11 years prior to getting into real estate. So my radio career is what really launched my real estate career. Because when I got into radio, and it was my first job was at WMGM TV 40 in Linwood, New Jersey, which is near Atlantic City. It's about 15 minutes from actually like Margate, right over the bridge. And I worked there for 16 months and I would go to the office every day. And what they gave me was a phone book, a piece of paper, a pad of paper, a pen, and a stack of business cards and a phone and said, go to it. And so I would be calling and calling and calling and calling people. And I was scared. And it's my first time being an actual real sales job outside of, the bartending and waitressing and all the other things I did, selling roses. But that hard work that I did in 1994 is what assisted me in growing my real estate business so quickly when I entered 20 years ago. And there's so many lessons that I learned back then. And I wanted to quit so many times when I started in that job. It was very difficult. I was young. I just graduated college the week before. So many things, difficulties I had going on at the time. But I just kept doing it and I didn't give up. And the message I want to give you today is don't give up. And if you do the work, it will eventually happen. But one of the things that I was thinking about also, anybody, can make phone calls. But it's the person making the calls that makes a difference. And there's certain things that I ask potential clients that I need to know. So just like you go to a doctor, they're going to ask you things. The same questions they're going to ask everybody about your health, about your weight. They're going to ask you questions, they're going to take your blood pressure. These are things that we have to ask. So that people will say, oh, that's a script. Yes, we have to ask these questions. Otherwise I can't assist and I can't I can't help. So, but besides those questions, I listen. I listen to what they're saying and I respond because I know this information in and out so well. When I respond, I'm focusing on everything that they're saying, not what I need to say next. And I talk to them like a human, not a lead. And I call the business opportunities. We have an opportunity to assist in the sale, buying, selling, investing in property. So it's really talking to people just like I'm talking to you and sharing with you. Be open, honest, transparent, come from the heart. I look at every opportunity like if somebody is special to me. They're special. They're in my family. They're in my circle. That's really important. It's really important that you talk to people like they are in your circle. And then you can decide after speaking of them if you want to move forward or not. You don't have to take all the business. You can decide who the people you're going to work with, but you need to care. You need to care about them here. And I think that makes a world of a difference in the way that you conduct your business in your life. So Q2 is coming up. I can't believe it's April in 2 days. But I wanted to share this with you today, the action that it did take. And that was 1,549 dials and 67 hours on the phone. So you can do it when you want it, you believe it. You have to believe it, and it has to come here from your heart. So lead heart to heart, live heart to heart, love heart to heart.